Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest's #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where there is so much going on. I have no idea how we are going to fit it all into a 1-hour program today. That's why we have the After Schrock here on Facebook. After the show, if you're watching live at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, and Schrock is SCH, by the way, you can get all the stuff that we can't pack into the 1-hour show. So it's all the extra stuff. So it's like a little bonus. You don't have to sign up or pay any money or be a member. You just jump on Facebook and it's free. It's kind of cool. Number to join us on the program this morning, 888-250-2091. If you missed the show last week, it's definitely something you might want to go check out. There was a lot of really good content in the program. The show is available on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. Just click on the radio show button there. Otherwise, you can always pick it up on Facebook as well. But last week, we talked about the difference between wired and wireless smartphone charging, which sounds incredibly interesting, right? Bueller. No, I mean, there's a huge difference, and should you use wireless charging or not? Some people are really concerned about the environment and ecology. Wireless charging is terribly inefficient. They said if everyone in the country switched to wireless charging, we'd need 9 more coal-fired plants to charge your phones. That's how inefficient it is. So we went through all the details on that. It was definitely a good listen from an ecological perspective. How hackers can intercept your data from the satellites that your internet service provider uses. So you can be doing everything right, and then your ISP can lose the data. So heads up there. And it's only $30 worth of stuff, or $300 worth of equipment that you can buy used on eBay, and you too can intercept satellites. Pretty crazy, right? That's like something from a 1980s, sci-fi movie. But no, you can do it, I guess, and it's not encrypted, which is kind of surprising. Intel, speaking of not encrypted, Intel lost 20 gigs of data. We talked about that last week. If you want to know what's coming next for Intel's processors, hint, not a lot. There's 20 gigs of information that was leaked online for that. Also, hospitals not able to repair their own medical equipment during a pandemic because they don't have the right to repair their stuff. Just like a farmer doesn't have the right to repair his 2020 John Deere tractor because it's run by software that you have a license to use but not to modify. Same thing with medical equipment, which is kind of ridiculous when you have hospitals that need the equipment and a screw fell out of the bottom and any idiot can see you put the screw back in and it works fine, but you're not allowed to touch it. So coming up on the program today, guys, again, like I said, there's a lot going on. So I don't know if you've heard this or if you have seen this video. There is an amazing troll of a video that Epic, did you see this, Emily, that Epic put out? So Epic is having an epic fight. Epic is the maker of Fortnite. They make that kids game Fortnite, and I guess a lot of adults play it too. It's got something like 250 million players or some crazy number like that. But they've been kicked out of the Apple Store. So Apple kicked them out. Google kicked them out. They lost access to like 500,000 iPhones overnight. And we're going to tell you what happened in that story there. And then they made a video. And you can scroll down one notch on our Facebook feed, and you can see the link to the video there. But it's called 1980 Fortnite. And it's a rip on Apple's 1984 commercial, whether you're throwing the hammer at the man, And my son, who is 13, he thought the 1980 Fortnite commercial was hilarious. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, he has no idea. Like, this has a whole nother level of goodness that he's not getting. So I made him watch the 1984 Apple commercial, and literally he was laughing the whole time because in his brain, Apple was ripping off Fortnite. Because he saw the Fortnite commercial first, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, they literally took everything from that commercial and made it Fortnite." And I was like, "Yeah, they did. It was an epic piece where they point out that Apple is now the man, and if you want to buck the man, you have to buck Apple now. Apple is now Big Brother, and and I mean, of course, not in the extent that is intended by Big Brother. He also hasn't read 1984, so there's probably a whole third layer of goodness that he can get from this. But he's 13. He's getting to that age now where he can start to think a little politically and stuff, where he'll put off bedtime to talk politics with Dad, but just to put off bedtime. So we're going to talk about that on the program. Also, Russians, if you believe, you hear all the hacking tools that America has, and oh, we shouldn't have those tools, or oh, that they're awful and they're spying on everybody. Guess what, guys? Every country's doing it. Russian state-sponsored hacking tools leaked onto the internet, and patches are being issued. We're going to tell you what the Russians are up to. This is kind of interesting. You guys know that I'm a Firefox fan. I use the Firefox browser almost exclusively, and I recommend it on the program. I know a lot of you use it as well, based on that recommendation. Saw an article. Firefox is a dying breed. Is the Firefox browser dying out? That's going to be an interesting story, so we're going to take a look at that. Also, if you are a software developer and you develop on a Mac, there is some stuff you need to be concerned about. It is critically important you're running antivirus software on your Mac, because there is now malware that's specifically targeting developers who upload their code to GitHub. So it infects your uploaded code, and then when people on GitHub use your code, they're taking the infection and unwittingly spreading it. So you got to pay attention to that too. So I know that's a very small subset of people, but it also impacts everybody who owns a Mac, because people still believe that Apple computers are impervious to viruses. By the way, that Russian malware is Linux malware. Linux. Well, I run Windows. No, you actually run Linux on a lot of things you're not aware of. You know that smart camera in your home that lets you pop in on the basement, or your Amazon Alexa, or, they're all running variants of Linux. Or Android, I suppose. But most of these things are running variants of Linux. Most security cameras run Linux operating systems. Your Ecobee thermostat, your smart thermostat, probably is running a Linux operating system. Anything that's an Internet of Things device is a Linux operating system. So now you can see why a hacker being able to tap into all those things could be pretty bad. Not a lot you can do about those systems aside from making sure that none of your thermostats or anything are end of life, because we all love to check on that. But keep in mind, when you buy an Internet of Things device that connects to the internet, it has a lifespan, and until it's good until it's not supported anymore. Just like your computers, that's the way of the electronic world. The number to join us on the program today is 888-250-2091. As we do every week, we're going to be giving away a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate to one lucky caller to 888-250-2091. So this is a pretty big week. For those of you listening on Facebook that are in the Iowa area, love having you here. Good stuff, but you're not going to hear this radio show. This radio show is going to air in Des Moines next week, because there's a 1-week tape delay. But next week, I will be doing the show live in Des Moines. So this show will not air in Des Moines. I will be there live, in studio at WHO, doing the radio show to do the soft launch of our new Des Moines Service Center. So I've said for the last couple weeks here on air, if you want an invite to the soft opening, there's a lot of people concerned about the Rona. There's a lot of people concerned about large crowds of people, or they're just trying to, maybe they're not concerned about it, but they're like, why take the risk? My wife knows people on Facebook that still will not go to restaurants because they don't want to do it. She also knows people on Facebook who literally self-quarantined, do the hand sani, wash their hands religiously, cough into their elbow, wear a mask wherever they go, in their house, in their car, when they sleep at night, and he got the flu. And he's like, you know what? If I'm doing all this stuff and I got the flu, I don't think any of this is going to protect me from the Rona. So, it's one of those things. So it doesn't matter. If you're concerned about that stuff, the soft opening is a great opportunity for you to come in before you're probably starting to hear our coming soon commercials in the Des Moines market. And so those commercials are still going to be coming soon next week while we're doing our soft open. And then on the 24th, those commercials all change over to "We are open, come now." And if it's any indication, guys, it looks like once we open, we're going to be very busy, very busy. A couple of reasons for that. Number one, right now, your computer is everything. It's your connection to everything, your connection to everyone. What happens when that connection breaks? What happens when your computer goes down? Literally, this morning, I get an email, because right now we are running a preventative maintenance checkup special in the service centers. This is the first you're hearing about it on the radio. Emails have already flown. Previous customers should have already been notified to get in ahead of the rush here. But right now we have preventative maintenance checkups on special this week for $49.99 instead of $90. It's about 45% off the price. So I get this email from Dan. Dan says, I have been wanting to bring my personal desktop from home, but I'm using it to work from home. Maybe I'll bring it in at a later date. Now, it doesn't seem like this, guys, but we run 2 checkups a year, so this is the final one of 2020. The first one that we ran was in March, right when the pandemic was kind of getting started and everybody was quarantining. So what that means is people like Dan have not had a maintenance checkup this year, and if they put it off, they're not going to have one next year. So what happens, if I could be so bold as to say, when you continually put off maintenance? When you continually exchange tomorrow for today, it's going to go down on Dan. And it's going to go down hard at some point. Because a small problem that's a small problem right now, how many of you are dealing with tiny little annoyances with your computers right now that are not sufficient enough for you to disrupt your schedule and bring it in? Perhaps it's something where you literally can't go without your computer for a day, because you have a Zoom meeting or something. Do you know that we have loaners? We will loan you a computer so you have something to take home with you so that you can do the Zoom meeting. You can do Zoom meetings from your phone too. And the other thing is with maintenance checkup, we try to do it all the time. But with the maintenance checkup special, we genuinely strive to have your computer done by the next business day. When we're not doing a maintenance checkup, we usually get your computer repaired the same day. So and then we even have an expedite service. So if something goes wrong and you're bringing it in over your lunch hour, for example, and I need it fixed like in an hour, there's an expedite service. You bypass the line. We get you right to the front. We work on it continuously until it's done. And then we immediately call you when it's ready. We understand the world has changed. I'm looking at our numbers, guys, and our repair services are way down. And our new computer sales are an equal percentage up. People are literally coming in when they have a computer. People like Dan that don't get maintenance. When it breaks, they don't have time to fix it. So they take a computer that's perfectly good that has one minor problem, and they literally recycle it. Because we recycle for free, you see. They recycle the computer, it becomes a loaner because you know what, we fix it and then we use it for a loaner. Because you can't loan nice computers out, otherwise you never get them back. We got to take the old ones that are repaired and scuffed up and have weird stickers on them that nobody wants to keep, and then we loan them out. But Dan's computer is going to get recycled and he's going to buy a new computer because he can't afford to go a single day without a computer. I'm telling you guys, this is going to come back and bite us big time. I don't know if I mentioned this last week on the radio show, but we ordered new pens in the service center. And I know this seems to be a weird tangent to go off of fixing your stuff to, hey, we bought some pens. But, we're opening the Des Moines Service Center. We wanted to make sure we had a nice big supply of Schrock pens. And honestly, the last batch that we got from China didn't really, I don't know, the inserts weren't really good. As you were writing, there would be dead spots where the ink would stop flowing and things like that. So I don't know what causes that. I'm not a penologist. But it's probably some weird thing for like people who fix, faucets or something. I don't know. But I'm not a penologist. And as a result, I don't know why pens don't write. I assume they're out of ink or they're poor quality. So I made sure in these pens we got the nice, expensive Bic inserts. That's what causes the price of the pens to really go up, is the quality of the insert. We ordered from the same place we always order our pens from. When we got the pens, they arrived, and on the barrels they now say made in India. I'm telling you guys, supply chains are shifting. Do you know that right now, if we contact Asus to buy laptops, we have to supply the name of the end user we are selling the laptop to, or Asus will not ship us a laptop right now, because the quantity of available laptops is so incredibly low. We are about to launch a new service center, and I have, count them, 3 Intrepid laptops in stock for 4 locations. Because I literally can't get the Asus A12 laptops fast enough. We were literally saying, hey, we're selling this one to Mickey Mouse, and we send in a fake name. And then we get the laptop to us. And heaven forbid anyone ever checks the registration on the laptop, because it's going to come back and say it's Mickey Mouse, It's going to be funny. Not really. You're going to be like, why is this registered to Mickey Mouse? Well, it's because Asus is making us do it that way for us to get the laptops in stock so we can have them, because people just like Dan can't go a day without one. It's not like the old days where you could order it and wait 14 days. You got to have it now. We got to have it in stock. There is going to come a point where you need a repair or a new computer and you need it right now, and it's just not in stock. Go try to buy a printer right now for under $150. Not in stock, I'm sorry. I don't need a fancy thing. I don't need a $400 printer. I just need an inkjet printer. Sorry. Not in stock. Now, we have a couple in each service center, but we have a couple in each service center. And when I sell one, you know how long it takes me to find a replacement to reorder? It's hard to find one that's not $400 to reorder to get in so I can have them in stock for you. There's going to come a time when we can't get that part. Even Amazon is getting stingy. So when we order stuff from Amazon for repair parts and things like that, and sometimes when we get stuff, it's broken or it doesn't work or it's defective, and then we send it back. I would say maybe 1% of everything we order off of Amazon gets sent back as, hey, we need it, it's defective, and they won't replace it anymore. They took that option away. You can't say replace it with a new one. Because of the Rona, those logistics are too hard. So you just get a refund. I am getting hate mail from Amazon saying they're going to cancel our Schrock Innovations. This month, we've spent over $13,900 on Amazon. This month so far, a month's only half over. And they're telling us we're returning too much stuff and our account is in danger of being suspended. That's the world right now, guys. All the companies out there, go to Target. Look at the spice aisle. Again, has nothing to do with computers. Why are there half the spices are out of stock, and the ones that are in stock, they only have like 2 of each. Look down the baking aisle. What happened to cake mix? Do you know that RC Cola, Dr. Pepper, who makes Dr. Pepper? It's the same company that makes 7-Up, I think, isn't it? Royal Crown? Is it Royal Crown? Okay, so Royal Crown puts out a press release a couple days ago about the aluminum can shortage. Did you know that that's a thing? So many people are drinking pop at home right now instead of at restaurants and out of, the syrup bags that are, the fountain machines, that there's not enough aluminum cans to go around. So they're not going to make some of the flavors of some of the colas because they can't put them in cans. Yeah, Pepsi's going through that right now too. Everyone's going through it. It's an aluminum can shortage, and not because they're producing less aluminum, but because you're consuming more aluminum. Everybody is. Everybody's consuming more of everything right now, and nobody can keep up. I am telling you guys, if you skip the maintenance on your hardware, it's going to come back and it's going to bite you royally. Please don't do that. The other thing we are seeing, and these are real price increases. This is not like the price increases that we are used to right now, where it goes up a couple pennies or a dime or maybe $1 over 5 years. This is the kind of price increases that make your eyes bleed, where a laptop goes up $100 in 2 weeks for no reason whatsoever. Our prices are still the same at Schrock right now, and we're going to keep them that way as long as we can. As long as I can scrape and scrap and find the stuff that we need to get at the prices that are reasonable, and we buy a lot of it when we find it. I found 5 brand new processors at one supplier yesterday. I bought all 5. That's all they had was 5. Ryzen 3 chips. Builds our most popular desktop, our Endeavor, which we have 1 in stock in each service center right now. But we're supposed to have 3 in each service center. We can't keep up with the demand because we can't get the parts fast enough. So I'm telling you guys, maintenance is huge right now. I'm offering it at a discount right now. This week you can bring your computer into any Schrock Innovations location and get your preventative maintenance done for $45. Or excuse me, for $49.99. It's about 45% off instead of $90. Now the reason I said in the beginning this is not important for Des Moines is because Des Moines, your maintenance checkups during the soft open are free. Absolutely free for the soft opening. Computer repairs, first hour of labor is always free. Everyone in Des Moines is a new customer. Every repair is going to be free. How about that? Computers in Des Moines up to 30% off right now. Of course, the models that we can get more of, like the Boundlesses, are discounted more heavily than the models that we can't get as much of. That's just the way life is right now. So some amazing deals. If you want to get in on that soft opening in Des Moines, it is important that you call the service center today. You can give us a call at 402-423-9595 and get your name added to the list for the invites for the soft opening. We have a few left. We are running out. We don't want to. It's not a soft opening if we invite all 818 Iowa customers that we have. We have 818 households in the state of Iowa right now that are customers of Schrock. If we invite them all, it's not a soft open, right? That's like a grand opening. So if you want the soft open invite, go ahead, give us a call. Let us know you want it. We'll put your name, your address, your phone number into our system, and you'll get one of those invitations. Those are going out today and tomorrow. So calling tomorrow is too late. You got to call today if you want an invite to the soft opening. 888-250-2091. Got to take our first break. When we come back, Epic and Apple and 1980 Fortnite. We're going to tell you what's going on there coming up next on Compute This.
Today's fragile computers need maintenance more than ever. Your computer needs a maintenance checkup every 6 months to last beyond its 18-month expected lifespan. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 423. Everyone knows you need an antivirus and firewall program for your computer, but which one is the best? Should you use the free ones, pay for a commercial product, or maybe even the free stuff your internet service provider gives you? The absolute worst thing you can do is to install nothing. Windows 10 comes with Windows Defender, but Microsoft never intended it to be your primary antivirus product. Free antivirus like AVG or Avast are more effective than Windows Defender, but Consumer Reports ranks the free antivirus products in the middle of the pack when compared to their commercial competitors. As for the free software from your internet provider, forget about it. It's designed to protect their network, not your computer. There are two products that trade the crown for best antivirus software year after year. Schrock recommends Symantec products like Endpoint, but the Russian-made Kaspersky antivirus program also does an outstanding job. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
All right, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. 3 current locations today. We are expectant parents for the brand new Des Moines Service Center soft opening on the 18th. So if you want to get an invite to that, give us a call, 402-423-9595. Leave all of your information on the voicemail. You can leave it with Eli if you're calling after noon when they open today. But definitely give us a call and let us know you want to get in on that. 888-250-2091. All right, so Epic. What is Epic? Epic is a company that makes the hit game Fortnite. If you don't know what Fortnite is, you've been living under a rock. So, or you don't have grandkids, or if you look at hundreds of millions of people are playing the Fortnite game. I've played it a couple times. There was an overnight church lock-in, and I was there. There was a Boy Scout lock-in at the church, and I was there with the Scouts. And literally, my tactic was I knew I wasn't going to be very good because I've never really played this much. So my tactic was to be stealthy. So I hid inside the map in the game and watched everybody else kill each other, and I just kept staying inside the little circle to avoid the storm that'll kill you, because the game during the round compresses the map into a bubble, and you have to stay inside the bubble, so it continually forces the survivors to get closer and closer and closer together until they're literally on top of each other, and you get one victor, the Battle Royale. Well, guess what? I stayed hidden until the very end, and I got killed at the very end. So I came in second place. That is my claim to fame. I came in second place in a game of Fortnite. I am an awesome dad. That did impress my kid, and that was pretty good. So anyway, that's Fortnite, right? It's a game you shoot each other, you get guns, it's a battle to the end. There's all kinds of tactics and techniques, and you can build fortifications and all kinds of stuff. It's a very, very, very popular game, probably the most popular video game in the world right now. You can play Fortnite on anything. You can play it on a computer. You can play it on an Xbox or a PlayStation, or you can play it on the, what's the Nintendo one? I can't think of the Switch. You can play it on the Switch. You can play it on your Apple iPhone or your Android smartphone, or at least you used to be able to. So here's the thing. When you're playing Fortnite, you can buy things inside the game. And I know this is going to blow a lot of people's mind who have not grown up with this, but the things that because this blew my mind at first too. It took a lot of getting used to this. You can buy things in the game, and my first thought was, okay, so the people who are really good buy a lot of stuff in the game and have like the best guns and the best armor and stuff like that. Oh, no. You don't buy anything that helps you in the game. You just buy stuff that makes you look cool in the game. They're called skins, and so you can buy like there. You can buy the bunny hopper skin. And last year for the Super Bowl, you could be one of the teams. You could be the Kansas City Chiefs skin or whatever. You know, in the beginning of the year, my son had the Seahawks skin. You know, it's just it's stupid, right? And then you get the skin, and your friends see it, and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool, man! Where did you get that?" And the skins, of course, are only available for a limited time before they disappear forever. So if you want that limited skin, you better buy it now, and then it'll disappear, and then your friends will see you with it, and they'll be so jealous that they didn't buy it too. So it's a status thing. So to buy the stuff in the game, you purchase what are called V-Bucks. V-Bucks are a digital currency, a cryptocurrency, if you will, inside of Fortnite. You can't spend a V-Buck at your 7-Eleven or anywhere else, or at Schrock Innovations for that matter. My son might take them if he was working, but you know, you can't spend V-Bucks anywhere else but on stuff inside the Fortnite game. When you buy V-Bucks on your iPhone, let's just say you normally you spend like $10 at a pop for V-Bucks or something like that. Apple takes 30% of the purchase as a processing fee. You heard right, 30%. So if you spend $10 on V-Bucks in the game, Epic only gets $7 and Apple gets the rest. So that's pretty steep. Last month, Epic processed $30 million last month of in-game purchases from players on Apple devices alone. $30 million, and Apple took a 30% cut of that. Epic is saying, Apple, you don't create anything as far as Fortnite is concerned. You're not an active developer. You're not adding any value to the game. You are simply the platform by which people choose to play. And you can play on any platform. So you know what, Apple? We're going to cut you out of the loop. Now, of course, this is against Apple's terms of use. You cannot. What Epic did is they put their own payment processing inside the app. So they skipped the Apple App Store entirely. Now when you're playing Fortnite on an iPhone, when you pay, all of the money goes straight to Epic and Apple gets nothing. And of course, that's a violation of Apple's terms of service because, of course, Apple wants to make sure that everyone in their ecosystem has a safe payment method that protects their customers. And there is some truth there, but there's a lot of gray between giving me a safe place to play and charging me 30% to do it. That's extortion, right? So Apple did what every extortionist does, and they kicked them out. They said, "Fine, you don't want to pay us. You're not going to play here." And they kicked him out. So then Epic releases this commercial. They were prepared for this. The lawsuit had already been written. They knew they were going to get kicked out. They had the lawsuit prepared. They filed the lawsuit, and then they released the 1980 Fortnite video. That was a rip on Apple's classic 1984 commercial. It was right before the Olympics, I believe. The lady was running in, and they have the Big Brother guy on the screen, and all the minions are just sitting there watching with like blank looks on their faces. And she's the only thing in color on the screen, and she comes running in and throws her hammer through the guy's big picture, his big face, right? So now it's the girl character from Fortnite running in, throwing her rainbow unicorn pickaxe up through the guy's face on the screen, and the guy's face is a giant apple with a bite taken out of it, and his little sunglasses on, and he's like, "We will prevail," and then the text scrolls up the screen about what Apple did, just like in the 1984 commercial. Text scrolled up the screen about how Apple is better and different, and they're going to make sure that 1984 doesn't have to be 1984, and Epic's going to make sure that 2020 isn't going to be 1984. So who's going to win this battle? I don't know. Apple has a lot of money. They're not going to die because they don't have Fortnite. Epic's not going to die because they don't have Apple. But on an Android device, Android allows you to have a third-party payment or third-party app store like Amazon's app store, so you can still get Fortnite. We have to do a little bit of workaround, but you can still get Fortnite safely on an Android device. That is what's going to be a problem eventually. Google did pull them as well. 888-250-2091. So for those of you who are totally not interested in video games at all, coming up on the show, Russians are making Linux malware, and is Firefox a dying browser? We're going to tell you what's going on there. Super important stuff coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it. In 1798, Eli Whitney's Connecticut musket factory was the first business in North America to use replaceable parts in a firearm. Before Eli's factory, if your musket broke, you had to send it away to an expert gunsmith for repairs, or just toss it and buy a new musket. Technology manufacturing has come a long way since the 18th century, but you wouldn't know it by looking at today's big box store computers. Dell, HP, Sony, and other manufacturers continue to take away your freedom to upgrade and repair your computer by eliminating expansion and repair options. Some desktops are even powered by a tiny laptop adapter. Schrock Innovations believes in Eli Whitney's idea of interchangeable and replaceable components, and that's why our custom-built modular computers last longer and cost less to repair than computers you see at big box stores. Ask your friends and family how often they replace their box store computers, and they'll probably tell you every couple of years. And what do they do with the old machines? They just get thrown out like broken muskets. Imagine a place where your computer's problems can be fixed quickly and inexpensively. Imagine keeping your computer for 6 years or more. You are imagining the kind of computers we build every day at Schrock Innovations. Our modular systems last longer, perform faster, and cost less over the long term than anything you can buy at a big box store. While the talented technicians at Schrock Innovations can't make you a musket even if they tried, our commitment to the freedom offered by modular computers is the modern-day extension of Eli's innovative musket factory. We think Eli Whitney would be proud, and you can take pride in owning a small piece of American innovation. The modular computer from Schrock Innovations. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases even your identity. Today's cybercriminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
I'm Karen McHugh. President Trump mourning the death Saturday of younger brother Robert. The cause of his death not yet known.
He had reportedly spent more than a week in the ICU for a serious condition. Now, Robert was the youngest of 5 and joined the family business as a top executive of the Trump Organization. President Trump is expected to attend his funeral.
Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer. Robert Trump was 71. The administration's skeptical over Russia's claims that they've developed a coronavirus vaccine.
White House officials say Russia skipped over critical steps for creating a vaccine. FDA Commissioner Stephen Hahn told Fox News Radio researchers are open to information from other nations, including Russia. Dr. Hahn said the FDA will not be pressured to approve an unsafe vaccine, saying an expert advisory panel will weigh in on candidates.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Another nice and cool start to the day with mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy skies are in town for your Sunday with highs in the mid to upper 80s. A few scattered storms are possible this afternoon and evening, with rain chances diminishing overnight. Lows drop back down to the low to mid 60s with highs in the 80s on Monday. With Omaha's most accurate forecast, I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist Mallory Schnell on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Boy, you get severe weather one weekend last weekend, and I'm like, this weather report needs some pizzazz, right? And so I'm reenacting the weather, and it's raining, and there's thunderstorms, and everyone's like, "Can you do the weather report again?" And I'm like, "Really? Like, you're here for the weather? Like, come on!" All right, welcome back, folks. You're listening to Compute This, which is not a weather show. We're actually sponsored by the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. If you love the show, make sure, please, when you need something for your computer, consider bringing it into Schrock Innovations. We offer same-day, next-day repairs. We have expedite services for even faster repairs if it's a device that needs to be fixed immediately. Sometimes we'll even just fix it if it's something really easy, we'll just fix it on the front desk for you. We won't even check you in. Because if it's something really easy, like I can't log into something, we'll take a look at that right away for you just to get you up and running. Because right now your computer is your connection to everything. And if it breaks, you're broken. And we need to make sure those computers work for you. That's what we do at Schrock. We also sell new computers. We build websites. We do custom software development. We have our own data recovery lab. So when your device fails because the data is not working on it, the software development guys build software like Drive Advisor, which is a free program you can download from driveadvisor.com. Drive Advise ER, made in America, driveadvisor.com. Not Drive Advisor, that's too panache. It's Drive Advisor. And it monitors the health of your hard drive. And if your hard drive starts to fail, it sends you an email and tells you, hey, your hard drive's failing. You should get it fixed before it gets bad. If you get that email, I saw 2 of you got one yesterday. If you get that, 2 Schrock customers got one yesterday. When you get that email, you need to turn your computer off and stop using it. That is the equivalent of your computer telling you it just had a heart attack. And you can keep using it, and it will keep working, and it will keep having heart attacks until it has the fatal heart attack. And then it's a lot faster for us to get you up and running when we can clone your hard drive from the bad drive to the good drive and be done with it than it is when we have to send you to the data recovery lab for 2 weeks because we have to order parts and put them in. And trust me, guys, you want to get it taken care of when the problem is small, which is why I am begging you to look at the preventative maintenance checkup sale right now that's going on at Schrock. You guys have put off maintenance. We had a lot of people buy certificates in March. Not so many people have used those certificates yet. We still have about 20% of those certificates outstanding. They're only good for about another 2 weeks. So it's important to get in for maintenance. Now, I mentioned the certificates because sometimes it's life, right? You just can't get in this week for a maintenance checkup. If you can't make it in this week for a maintenance checkup, that's okay. You can go to our website at SchrockInnovations.com and you can take a look at our specials page where we have, you go to shop and then specials, the preventative maintenance checkup on sale for $49.99, and you can buy it online. You receive an email with a certificate that says this is good for 6 months. You can bring it in anytime it's convenient for you in the next 6 months. So even if life is hitting you this week and you say, I'd love to do it, they're like, Dan, I'd love to do it, but I want to do it at a later time. That's what the certificate is for. Just please make sure that a later time is not after something breaks. The whole point of preventative maintenance is to prevent it from breaking by finding that bad power supply before it shorts out your hard drive or your motherboard. By making sure that all the dust and gunk gets blown out of that computer that you haven't been using before this very much, but now you're using it every day. Let's make sure that, here's the thing. People I don't use my computer for much, though, they say. What you don't realize is your computer that you bought at the box store for $500, $600, $700 was not intended to be used as a main work computer every day. It was intended to be grandma's computer that checks her Facebook and her email a couple times a day and maybe pays a bill online. That's what it was built to do. If you're using a computer like that to work from home, you're torturing it. And it needs maintenance. If it's slow, if it's unresponsive, if it's not streaming video the way you want it to, if the audio is not working right all the time. These are all symptoms of a computer that has an impending failure and a reason you need to have preventative maintenance done so we can find those problems and get them corrected while they're small. Now, all of our service centers are open Saturday from 10 to 8 and Sunday from noon to 5. We send out the emails on Friday. The maintenance checkups are starting to roll in. Our existing customers always get a heads up a few days before the sale starts so we can get our existing customers taken care of and out the door before we launch it to the general public. So I'm telling you right now, if you want to get in and beat the rush, bring it in today. And we will do our best to get it back to you by tomorrow. If you must have it by a specific time, please tell us that. There is an expedite fee to get a guaranteed turnaround time. It's $50. Ironically, that puts your maintenance checkup at regular price, but with a guaranteed turnaround time. So we have the tools to help you out at Schrock to get your computer up and running. Please take advantage of them. Please do. All right, number to join us on the program today, 888-250-2091. The Russians and their Linux malware. So yes, state-sponsored malware leaked out of Russia, actually. And I'm not even going to try to say the name. It's called, I'm going to try it because it'll be funny. Drovorub, which translates roughly like to fell, like to cut down a tree, to chop, or to fell. So this is basically malware that infects Linux-based operating systems. That would include, of course, any computer running Linux. Realize that Apple is just running a Linux variant, by the way, Unix variant, or any Internet of Things device that is also running Linux. So your smart cameras, your smart thermostats, most of those things, any smart device that's connected to the internet usually runs some kind of a Linux operating system, because Linux is open source, which means it's free, which allows the companies to not have to pay for a license for an operating system on each device, which means you can get them cheaper. So all those cheap little cameras and switches and things like that, they're all running Linux operating systems. And so they are all vulnerable to this Russian malware. In fact, the FBI and the NSA have issued a joint security alert. So two government entities that actually agree on something have issued an alert containing technical details about new Linux malware developed by Russia's military hackers. And the military hacking, all right, so I'm sure we have a military hacking unit, but you don't know their name. At least I don't know their name. Maybe somebody knows their name. I don't know their name. But Russia's unit is called APT-28, and this is the Swiss Army knife for hacking Linux. It can exploit just about every possible vulnerability that you could find. Other names that the elite Russian hacking team, the military hackers, the best of the best, go by APT-28. Sounds very, very concrete walls in the basement, right? They also go by Fancy Bear. Fancy Bear, that sounds like a nightclub in Russia, Let's all go to the Fancy Bear, ooh, ooh, And another name is Sednet. And I don't know if that translates to something in Russian or what, but Sednet. That sounds like a geek name. Like, let's call it Sednet. Because my name is Cedric and I'm a networker. Let's call it Sednet. It's dumb. So those are the code names that are given to the hackers running out of the Military Unit 26165 of the Russian General Staff Main Intelligence Directorate, GRU 85th Main Special Services Center, GTSSS. See, that's what you have to say it if you're in the military. But other people just call him Fancy Bear, But yeah, so this stuff, though, it sounds funny, but this stuff is the real deal. It's the Swiss Army knife of military hacking. All right, let's jump into those phones here real quick. I apologize, we haven't got any calls yet today here. Steve, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on ComputeThis, Steve?
Yeah, I had my computer in there. I had it partitioned off before they put the new
Solid state.
Solid state in there, right? Okay, and then what happened was it was partitioned, so part of that information did not get put on the new one.
Oh, okay.
But I did have a backup, external hard drive, and I brought that in, and they put that. They said there wasn't enough room,
right?
So they put that external one in there, inside.
Okay.
Now I'm running across the problem. I'm using Ancestry, and I got pictures on the old partition.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know, how can I move that stuff over there, the best way to do it? Move those pictures over to the other side.
Gotcha.
Because it's partitioned.
Now, Steve, you were in less than 30 days ago, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, as long as you were in within a month, a question like what you're asking would be easily considered a warranty in our service center. And we could do what's called a Schrock desk, which is our remote connection service where we can connect with your computer over the internet, and then we can see your screen and help you and show you how to do things. Because, really what we have to do is, if you want to move the pictures from one drive to the other, you cut them from one drive and you paste them where you want on the other drive. Which, it's pretty straightforward, but it's sometimes helpful to see somebody do it, so that way you know how to do it. So I think what would be best to do here, Steve, because it was funny, Steve's thing was moving pictures, and I'm like, you mean like a movie? Like the or like the talking pictures. Those talkies are pretty good. But the moving the pictures from one drive to the other is just cutting and pasting. It's actually super easy to do, but I want to have somebody actually show you how to do it, because if you cut and paste incorrectly, if you cut, for example, and then paste in the wrong place, you might lose them and not know where they're at. The other thing, the original problem that we had is the drive that we put in your computer was based on the C partition of your old hard drive, so they couldn't put everything together because there's not enough room. And if you want to move things from the old drive to the new drive, there may not be enough room. That's another reason I want to have the guys take a look, because if in fact you need a larger solid state hard drive, that is also something that we would cover the transferring and everything, all the labor under warranty, and just charge you the price difference for the larger drive. A lot of times it's only $50 to go from like a 120 to a 240, or a 240 to a 480. Double the size of the hard drive is like $50. So, it's not an insurmountable amount of money to do. And if that's the right solution, that's what I want to see you do first. Thank you very much for the call, Steve. We appreciate it. We got to take a quick break here. The number to join us is 888-250-2091. When we come back from the break, is Firefox a dying browser? This concerned me. The current usage rate of the Firefox browser is around 3.3% of all web traffic is using Firefox, and it's on the decline. Is it time for you to bail on Firefox? We'll tell you coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff, and that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive. Compute This pro tip number 187. Recently, you may have received a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft, or had a message pop up on your screen telling you that your computer was infected. Do not respond to these calls or messages. They're always a scam. Microsoft will never call you about your computer. Here's how the scam actually shakes out. You get the phone call that your computer's infected. The scammers hit you with some mumbo jumbo about an infected IP address. They'll ask your permission to connect and help you fix it. Once they're in your computer, they do a bunch of fake scans that detect a lot of problems that really aren't there. You see the scan results and figure, your computer's in trouble. Next, the scammers will demand up to $400 to clean up the computer and set you up with a lifetime protection. Don't fall for the scam. Keep good security software installed, like Endpoint and Secure Updater, so when things like this do happen, you know you are covered. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Oh my gosh, folks, only in Nebraska. You look up and you see Fox News on the TV, and they're saying the headline is "Farmers Adjust to Coronavirus Situation," and then there's these cows running through a field, and they're all 6 feet apart. And I'm like, really? How long did they have to wait to film cows? First of all, running through a field. Secondly, running through a field 6 feet apart. And then they went to like a pen where they were loading the cattle, right? And as the cattle were going into the transport vehicle, they were literally stopping the cows and letting one go through, keeping a distance of 6 feet between each cows. I can report, however, I was extremely concerned. Those cows were not wearing face masks. And I don't know if I can eat steak tonight. I'm going to have to eat pork chops. That's just what it comes down to, because the pigs, at least, the pigs know how to do it right. 888-250-2091. Welcome to Compute This, guys. Final segment of the program. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We appreciate you staying with us through the whole hour. I want to mention really quickly that we only have 4 days left in the contest to win a free Intrepid laptop from Schrock Innovations. These are one of our most popular laptops. They're very difficult for us to keep in stock, and we're holding one back right now for the winner of this contest. To enter the contest, all you have to do is go to SchrockInnovations.com, and in the middle of the page, there's a black banner there, a black banner that says vote for us in the Best of Omaha. By the way, the Best of Lincoln is now underway as well. We'll talk about that next week. But the Best of Omaha is going on right now, and you can win yourself a free laptop. You go there and you vote in the Best of Omaha. You don't have to vote for Schrock. Of course, I would hope you would, but you don't have to. They don't tell us who you voted for. You can vote for anybody. You have to vote for like 5 different businesses in 5 categories. But then once you're entered in, once you've done that first voting step, there are 9 additional things that you can do to gain extra entries in the competition. So if you did the first thing but you weren't aware of the other 9 things you could do, you go back to that page. Go to SchrockInnovations.com, click the banner. It'll remember you, but based on your email, and then you can do the extra things to get those extra entries in the competition. There's only 4 days left to do that, so don't miss that opportunity. Also, if you're listening on Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations and you're in the Des Moines area, heads up, next week, you won't hear this show next week because I will be live on WHO in Des Moines next week for a live event, a live Compute This. Of course, if you're a Facebook listener, I will be doing both shows on Sunday, so I will be in Omaha at 7 a.m. and at Des Moines at 2. So you can listen to both the shows. They will be different. We're going to have different content just to make sure that if you do pick up both shows, you're not bored out of your skull. And we'll get you going there. Preventative maintenance checkup special going on at Schrock right now. Please do not ignore maintenance on your computers. We are seeing people en masse just not doing maintenance, not doing repairs on minor things and letting them become major things. Please don't let this be you. Your computer's your connection to everything. We know you need it back fast. We're working as fast as we can to get them back to you. We have expedite services to guarantee turnaround times if it's critical, but get it in for maintenance, guys. And you can save 45% off right now with a preventative maintenance checkup at Schrock Innovations. If you can't get it in this week, jump on to SchrockInnovations.com and pick up a certificate. Then that gives you any time in the next 6 months to bring it in. All right, so moving forward here, guys, Firefox is the browser that I use every day for everything. I've seen some comments in the feed here about, that people like to use Chrome because it saves everything. So does Firefox. You can get a Firefox account. It saves all my saved passwords, all my home pages, my favorites, all that stuff is saved, and it links up with my phone and everything else just like it does for Chrome. Firefox literally has everything Chrome does without Google spying on you every 30 seconds. They have cool features that, like the Facebook fence, for example. Do you know that every web page that you go to that has a Facebook like button on it is tracked by Facebook to determine what ads to show you in your Facebook feed? Well, Firefox automatically fences that off so it doesn't work. They protect your privacy. And they're a nonprofit. They just got a huge chunk of change from Google, ironically, who also runs Chrome, which is the most popular browser on the earth right now. And Edge came out with their Chromium version, which is actually faster and better than Google's browser. If any Chrome users out there, it's the same technology, but without all of Google's overloading and overwatching and all-seeing eye, basically. Instead, it's Microsoft's all-seeing eye, right? The only browser without an all-seeing eye is Firefox, but they dropped from 3.3% of the web last month to 3.2% this month. They are just, how long can they keep going before they are irrelevant is the question. So I'm not jumping off my Firefox browser yet. I'm going to keep with it for now. But at some point, if it gets to the point, Firefox has laid off a lot of their development and security team. So because they don't have money. If Firefox gets to the point where it is not a secure browser, at that point I will bail, and I will tell you to bail as well. But right now I'm sticking with Firefox. If you want to try the new Edge browser, though, it is a pretty neat little browser. 888-250-2091. Bob, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Well, first of all, I want to give a testimonial for your maintenance checkup. My laptop is almost 9 years old. I don't get a checkup every 6 months, but I get it at least once a year, and it's still working, and I think that's because I do that.
Well, it definitely helps, for sure.
Yeah.
Solid-state hard drive doesn't hurt either.
But my question is, I can't listen to videos or do Zoom calls on my laptop because I don't get sound. What happens is I get sound for about 10 or 20 seconds, and then it cuts out.
Yes. There's a setting inside of Zoom that is intended to prevent feedback. So what happens is the speakers and the microphone on a laptop are within a foot of each other. And when you put a speaker and a microphone within a foot of each other, you can get feedback. And it's incredibly, that's why they tell you to turn your radio down when you call into AM shows, because we get feedback and it hurts our ears and our headphones. And our headphones are like on our head. And it makes us rip them off our head and throw them because it hurts. So that happens on Zoom calls too. And Zoom doesn't want other people to be hurt. So what they do is they automatically mute your microphone. And so you literally have to go into your Windows settings and unmute the microphone for your sound to resume. But you can disable that setting within Zoom so that it will not mute your microphone when you go silent. Because it's supposed to unmute it again when you start talking, but it doesn't always work. So basically the two possible solutions there is, number one, you go into the Zoom settings and you tell Zoom to not automatically mute your microphone, which is just in the settings. It's really easy to find. Otherwise, the other thing you can do is you can get an external microphone, like a little wand mic. We sell them for like $20 in the service center. That plugs into your older laptop. Probably has a microphone jack that you can plug a microphone into. Newer ones don't have that jack anymore, but the older ones certainly would. And then you can have that microphone off to the side, and it'll allow you to speak and have that distance between the microphone and the speaker, so that you don't end up with the feedback. That's why I use a directional microphone. When you see me recording in my home studio, the microphone in front of me, just like this microphone here, is directional, right? Stuff from behind the microphone comes in much quieter than stuff from right at this angle on the microphone. And that's by design. Thank you for the call, Bob. I really appreciate it. And then thank you for letting everybody know that the maintenance checkup isn't just a bunch of hooey. It really does keep computers running longer. It's a protection of your investment, especially at a time where we don't necessarily know where all the new parts are going to be coming from. As soon as we get Des Moines opened up, guys, we got to start planning the holiday special. That's going to be fun. The pandemic special. Woohoo! What are we going to do for a holiday special when we don't know how many of everything we can get? It's going to be fun. All right, let's continue on here. We got one more quick story I want to get in about Mac malware. It doesn't impact a ton of people because it's primarily targeted toward developers this time. These are people who make software packages. But what's happening is there is a piece of Mac malware that is infecting the computers of Mac developers who, for the most part, are not running antivirus, because antivirus screws with the development process in some cases. And you're on a Mac, right? So it never gets infected. But Mac malware is spreading through Xcode projects. It's abusing WebKit and DataVault vulnerabilities. This malware is getting saved in your GitHub repositories, and when you share code with other Mac users, it's infecting their computers as well. Please, for the love of all that's holy on earth, if you're using a computer to interface with the internet and upload things, it needs to have antivirus, even if it's a pain in the rear. If you have to have a separate development computer that is sandboxed, then have a sandboxed computer. Or basically run a virtual machine. There's lots of ways that you can get around this to make sure that you have a safe development environment. Today's winner is John. John, you won, but you're still on hold. I haven't been able to get to your call yet. You're still on hold there, but I'll take your call off the air. But congratulations, you won yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Folks, we will be back again next Sunday for another exciting edition of Compute This.
Fueled by Hy-Vee, home of hot deals and hundreds of price declines.